Okay, so Brian from Garage Mahal, and I have this Weaver 1-inch impact gun, and it takes like a 1/2-inch adapter. So it came with that, but I don't have any airline that will fit that, just for the pure fact of I haven't quite gotten the large amount of air compressor to 1/2-inch line to get some bigger jobs done. So I still want to be able to use this, even though I'm not going to have huge amounts of airflow, but enough that I can get some of my larger projects, stuff on my tractor and stuff done. I need to come up with something. So this is your typical 1/4-inch fitting. Obviously you can see the size difference there, so tremendous difference. So I bought these quick connects that are 1/2-inch, still too big, but this set came with a reducer to 3/8 of an inch. So then I had to get a 3/8 to a 1/4-inch adapter, so that will go in on there like that, and then I can put on my 1/4-inch air hose quick connect. Sorry for bumping the camera there. So that way I'm going to have something like that I can then put a fitting on there. I think I'm going to use the one that came with the kit, just because they'll all fit a little bit better, and then I can kind of basically, quick connect that onto there. And then, even though this will be starving for air, at least I can get like something done until I can get a larger compressor, a larger airline, and then we go from there. But anyway, I thought this was probably a pretty good idea, and obviously we're going to try it out and see how well it works. But you got a whole bunch of different fittings here, and we are going to basically get things started by first putting on this adapter onto this. And let me move stuff up into frame a little bit better. So we are going to use some joint compound, and we'll put a thin bead on there. And I know some guys like to put that a little bit thicker than that, but that's what we're going to use for now. And then we will get that started by hand, and then we'll use the wrenches to kind of get that tightened into place. Use some adjustables. I do have the bigger box end wrenches, but I have them not with me at the moment. So we'll get this started. And I think I'll make that pretty tight. Okay, so that should be locked in place pretty well. And then we are going to put this one on this. So that's a 1/2 to 3/8. And then we'll just, kind of hard not to put this on thick, but we'll get that going. So we'll put that fitting on here. Yeah, I think so. All right, so we'll use the adjustables again. Get that one set for there. And that one set. Okay. So it's a 1/2 to 3/8. And then we're going to use the 3/8 to a 1/4 adapter. Yeah, we'll put some thread compound on here. Okay, then we'll get that situated. And that is a 17. Nope, not quite. That was a 17. This part's a 17. Okay, it's Sunday. My brain's still half asleep, so we'll get this going here. Okay, and then last but not least, 1/4 inch. Okay, not as sloppy. And then we'll get that twisted on there. And that is their 17 and 14 mil. Okay. We'll clean that all up. Okay, so there we go. Nice little adapter. Unconventional again, but it will serve my short-term needs. And let's let that dry up a little bit, fire up the air compressor, and we'll see how this likes to react to it. So stay tuned. Okay, now that we let that pretty much dry for a couple hours, let's hook a air line up to this. So got your regular 1/4 inch. So we're going to put this adapter on the gun first. So that makes a nice good fitting. And a 1/4 inch. Okay. And then to give you an idea. And I tell you what, it still has a pretty good amount of torque. So we don't have equipment big enough yet for some of the industrial sockets. Always planning for the future. So let's bring this outside and hook it up to some regular stock sockets, 1/2 inch with an adapter, so you can see how oversized that 1 inch is. And we'll get a lug off the tractor and show you what kind of torque and how fast this thing spins. So stay tuned. All right, so here we are. Got the tractor tire, and yeah, this is a little bit overkill, but so that's 22 millimeter. But again, we're going to test to see the airflow, and then we have the gun set on. It should be so it's the lowest setting to the left. So let's go. So on the lowest setting, that got that off no problem. So we know we got at least decent amount of airflow to get this moving. And then to put that back on, we'll put that on its relatively lowest setting, tighten it. So pretty good. So let's put it on the highest setting to get another lug off. We'll put this one over here. And again, that came off no problem whatsoever. So now we just have to get an upgraded compressor to be able to feed this beast. Anyway, Brian from Garage Home, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.